In today's video, I'm going to upgrade some components of the drivetrain on my Himiway Cruiser. Specifically, I'm going to change the freewheel to a new set of gears, and I'm also going to change out the front chainring to a larger chainring. Now, the reason I'm changing these components is that once you unlock the display and you enable the bike to go faster than 20 miles an hour, you quickly find out that you run out of gears. You can't pedal the bike much faster than 20 miles an hour. You just physically cannot pedal that fast for very long. So I want to go faster than 20 miles an hour, and I want to be able to pedal faster than 20 miles an hour, not just use the throttle. So that's why we're changing out these gears. One thing we don't want to do is lose our easiest gear. Your easiest gear is your breakdown gear, or when you run out of battery or you have an electrical problem with the bike and you have to pedal it home with no power. You want to have that first gear as your easy gear. You don't want to make that any harder. That's important. So the stock freewheel on the Himiway is called a 14 to 28 tooth freewheel. And if you were to buy it, that's what it's called, the 7-gear 14 to 28 freewheel. This is what we're going to replace it with. It's a 11 to 34. So you have a wider range than the stock freewheel. This is showing the gear ratios that you have on the bike. For 1 revolution of the pedals, this is how many revolutions of the back tire you get in your lowest gear on your stock bike. After the upgrade, our lowest gear is going to get just a hair easier. But our highest gear, our 7th gear, we're going to get 4.7 revolutions for every 1 stroke of the pedal, where we usually only get 3.3 revolutions of the back tire. So you can see we're going to have a lot higher top gear. In fact, we'll probably have 3 higher gears than the stock bike. But we are not going to lose our breakdown gear. The first thing we have to do when upgrading the freewheel is to remove the old freewheel. Normally, you have to use a freewheel removal tool, but you have to get a special one for an e-bike, and this is one that I purchased for my Rad Rover, and it works fine. It fits over the connector. Remember, the wire comes out this side, fits over the connector, and it fits over the 18mm nut, and it fits in, and now you can take a wrench and easily pull your freewheel off. But Himiway has decided that on one side of the tire, they're going to have an 18mm nut over here on this side. And then on this side, they decided to put a 19mm nut. So your standard freewheel removal tool will not fit over that nut, and it does not work. And the other thing is that you have to get a wrench. To fix a flat tire, you need a 19mm wrench for one side and the 18 for the other side. So you have to make sure you carry a wrench that has both sizes on it to change a flat tire, which is stupid. To say the least, it's stupid. So, how am I going to get the old freewheel off if I don't have a tool to remove it? We are going to attempt to grind this off. I'm going to grind off all the part that rotates. There's part of it that is fixed. I'm going to cut these gears off and this outer casing of here, and I'm going to be able to put this in my vise and then rotate it and get it off of the tire, off the wheel. At least that's what I'm going to attempt to do. So let me show you how that's going to go. I'm going to use my Dremel tool grinder instead of my angle grinder. A little more control for this delicate job here. So the first thing we have to do here is cut off this top gear. So once on each side, that should fall off and all the gears should fall off. Let me start on this side over here. Top gear. The rest of these should just come off. Like so. Now we have to remove this. We have to cut through this whole thing here. Okay. We are down to the part that does not rotate. Now I can just either put a vise grips or something on here, or put it in my vise and spin this off. So I was going to put this in my vise and then spin it, but I was going to try my vise grips first. So I got that on there pretty tight. I'm just going to give this a good whack and see if I can loosen this up. Yeah, comes right off. So we now have all of the old freewheel off, and the new freewheel is just going to fit right on here and no problem. This is the new freewheel I'm putting on. I have applied a little bit of grease on the threads, and that's just going to help in the future if you ever have to replace this. This does go bad after several thousand miles and you may have to replace it. So this just goes over all that. And we put it on here. And just get it on as hard as you can. If you have a chain whip, it's a tool that you can tighten this with, but you don't really need it, because once we start using this bike, just put your brakes on and lean on the pedal, and that will tighten this up. And as you use it, it will get fully tight. You don't really have to worry about it. That should be good right there. I got the new freewheel on, and the first thing I did is just hold the brakes on and tighten the freewheel on just by stepping on the pedal. Now that should be tight. You don't have to worry about it coming off. I took it for a test drive after I put the freewheel on, and now I can go about 23 to 25 miles an hour before I'm pedaling too fast and I'm uncomfortable. So that was a major improvement right there. But I'm also going to put on this front chain ring. So to change this chain ring, there are just 4 bolts here. Don't forget to take the chain off first. Make sure you have the bike turned off. Once you turn this, you don't want the pedal assist to start accelerating the bike. So we're not going to use this anymore. We don't need it. So there's the old chain ring. And there's the new chain ring. We're going from a 46 tooth to a 52 tooth. And we're not going to use this anymore because this is bigger than that. So I'm also going to put on a new set of pedals that's going to match my front chain ring. It's going to look badass. These are Rock Brothers aluminum pedals. I have these on my Rad Rover and I really like them. There it is with my new pedals. Looks good. Now I'll take it for a test drive. I took the bike for a test ride. I am now able to comfortably pedal up to 30 miles an hour. I will leave a link in the description for the parts you need for this upgrade. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.